I'm not even sure I've ever said UL Monroe before. Who do you like and why Friday night?
This game has gotten interesting because of what UL Monroe has done the last two games. Louisiana Lafayette, right? ULL.
How do you pronounce it?
This is UL Monroe. There's
it just shows
Lafayette's, there's Louisiana Monroe's, there's...
If you put a line on it, we're there.
Exactly. Give me Sun Belt teams all day, but not this time. I'm going to go with the Baylor Bears in this one, and I'm going to keep it simple.
I tell you, this is another example, sorry to interrupt, where you just love to buck what's obvious, and to me, that's a sign of a winner. We talked about it earlier. You went under in a game in a prior video that everything pointed over, but your point is, hey, it's been over-adjusted for that, and I mean, you've got a team here, like you said, that's covered 5 of 6, beat Arkansas, was a 30-point dog, and then almost beat Auburn, and you're saying, great, I'm going the other way.
I love
why?
It. They're plus 44 ATS margin. I get it. But here's why. You're getting I'm going to keep it simple. I'm a simple man. And this is the best way I could put it. You're getting the better team, undervalued, because of the simple fact they lost their starting quarterback, and not just any quarterback, the Heisman Trophy winner, and everyone's seeing how good RG3 is doing in the pros against a team at home who's just coming off the 2 biggest games in the school's history, and they played both in overtime. That took a lot out of them. And this last one, they didn't get as lucky as the first one. They lost by a field goal. That's crushing. I don't think they could get up for a third time.
I like your theory, and I also can see your point about the third time. Getting out, probably out physical, even though you won the one game, getting beat up. But I don't think it's crushing. I think it would have been shocking if they won the second game. And my sense is there's a sense of momentum. Even though, let's just ask that question in a vacuum, is what do you think UL Monroe's team mentality is right now? I think they're up. You think they're down?
I think they're going to be up for this game.
Crushing.
Of course, do you want to take? You could have beat 2 SEC teams.
No, I think you know what it's like if you hit your first royal flush, and then you have the second one. You're one card away, and then you get the 9 of spades instead of the 10 of spades. Are you crushed, or do you think I'm on a roll?
I wouldn't feel that great. That's just me.
All right.
But in all honesty, I think that because they were this close to beating 2 SEC teams, but I agree with you, because this is a primetime game, because it's ESPN, they want to show that those weren't flukes. But because of what they did in those 2 games, because of the RG3 situation, and I'm not saying Nick Florence, the new quarterback, is going to be the next RG3 as a senior, absolutely not. But you got to give a little more credit to the system that Baylor has, as opposed to saying it was just RG3. And this line is not doing that. I'm asking you, if UL Monroe didn't do that the first 2 weeks, let's say this game was week 1 of this season, would Baylor only be a 7.5-point favorite going into this game?
I agree with you 100%. The question is that them showing what they've shown, your power ranking on this team, if you have one, has to have gone up, right? So now the question is there a reaction is warranted? But has there been an overreaction?
I think there has, because my power ranking has gone up a little, but more importantly, my power ranking on Auburn and Arkansas have come down. I think that's the difference here.
I can't wait till when you come out with your power ranking for the Little League World Series. You know that
that's easy. Japan won, and then any team from California too.
Baylor. And some of this went back to last year. 45 points in 6 straight games, but also doing it again this year. I also think there's less of a chance that Baylor takes them lightly because of what they've done recently. So, any closing thoughts before we make it official? Just that this
year Baylor has a defense. Last year you got to remember they had a new defensive coordinator, and it was his first season there, and they knew with RG3 they could outscore people. This year with 8 returning starters, I think they know they can stop people as well. So I think because of that, they will outscore them. Obviously, they'll need to cover, but I don't think offenses are going to have as easy a time scoring against Baylor as they have last year, the year before.
All right, we've talked it through. Let's make it official.
Thursday night ESPN, undervalued Baylor, road favorite, laying 7.5. I'm going to lay it with the Baylor Bears against the overvalued UL Monroe team coming off 2 great games, biggest 2 games in school history. I think they'll be up because it's on ESPN, but they just don't have the talent to stick around with Baylor. I like the Bears in this one.
You know, one of your strongest suits, and to be candid, what amazes me the most is your ability to predict the line moves between, let's say, now we're taping on Tuesday and this game, you know, happening on Friday. This is kind of interesting because on one hand, you've got a team that's getting a lot of attention because of the big upset and then the close call against Auburn. On the other hand, Baylor's the much more known team. Which way do you see this line moving?
I think because the betting public's going to go have balanced action here. There's so many that have fallen in love with that UL Monroe team that missed it in week 2, and now they want to jump on that bandwagon that are going to bet it. And then there's going to be the hardcore fans that say Baylor's just a betting team. So I think the books will be able to dance the vig, like we say, and sweep it up. And because the wise guys haven't gotten involved, and we know they tend to bet dogs, they haven't gotten involved. That makes me like this Baylor side even more. I think it's going to stay around 7.5. May go to 8 at some spots. Won't go to 7.
All right, great analysis. This is Friday's game. We're going to have best bets on Saturday, best bets on Sunday, and the Monday night game. You can get them all at pregame.tv.